Today at Robert's Guitar Dungeon, I'm going to show you 5 guitar playing techniques that any guitar player can learn. It's no secret that I'm a long way away from anybody calling me a virtuoso on the guitar. That being said, one of the things that I have learned over the years is it doesn't matter so much what other guitar players think, it's what your audience thinks. And the truth is, most people in the audiences that we play in front of are not guitar players and not musicians, and are much easier to impress than we think. These are some techniques that I've learned over the years that have helped me get over a learning curve, or a stump, if you will, get over the hump and continue to stay motivated to want to keep on playing. So let's get started. By the way, I am using both my dialogue mic and my guitar mic at the same time in this video, so there are likely to be some room reflections in the audio in this video. But this video is about the playing rather than the tone. Okay, we all know how to play an E power chord, which most of us can do with one finger. Those 3 notes, distortion. That's how they sound. A friend of mine named Dino, who is probably the best guitar player in the city that I live in, and I live in a market of over 1 million people, by the way. I know most of the players in town, and I don't know anybody better than him. He taught me this trick. And what you're doing, it's still an E5, it's still an E power chord, but what you're doing is you're adding your pinky to the 4th note, to the 4th fret on the G string, and also playing the top 2 notes open. So what all 6 notes strummed across individually sound like, it's going to sound like that. Still just all E's and B's, which equals an E5. And on distortion, when you're playing it on distortion, fattens up quite a bit. Number 2, the G-Chord Trick. There's typically 2 ways to play a standard, what we call an open G chord. And the more, I don't know what, the one way is more traditional than the other. I first learned it with the 3rd note on the low E string, 2nd note on the A string, and the 3rd note again on the high E string. So it sounds something like that. Somebody taught me later on to add the 3rd note on the B string as well. So it sounds like that, and it's still the same 3 notes, which equal the same chord. I just like the way that one sounds. I like it a little bit better and fuller. However, when you're playing, that B note is real easy to throw a monkey wrench in the works, particularly if you're playing through any amount of gain, and it gets real muddy. So there's a couple things that I've learned to do. First, thanks to Eddie Van Halen. I learned how to play an alternate power chord, which, by using the meaty part of my middle finger, I'm muting the A string and playing just the 3rd note on the low E string and those 2 open strings. And you get a standard G5 power chord. The problem that I ran into with that is, on occasion I would accidentally strum too far and hit that note with it, and then I got the same problem. So then I started adding that finger back in. And now what I'm doing is I'm playing 4 strings, and the meaty part of my middle finger is muting the A string, and the meaty part of my ring finger is muting the high E string. And it sounds like that. Nice and crisp and clear. Number 3, I call this the pinch hidden harmonic. And I've worked with lots of guitar instructors over the years, and none of them have ever told me or taught me anything about the natural harmonic that exists on the 3rd fret. It's actually just behind the 3rd fret, rather than right over the top of it like it is on 5th and 7th. It's right there. You know, it's not as pronounced as it is on the 5th and 7th fret, but it is there. So when you're playing through a high gain setting, and maybe you haven't learned how to properly play a pinch harmonic the traditional way, here's a way that you can cheat. Simply play the natural harmonic and bend it. And it'll sound like this. Number 4. Here's an alternate way to play pinch harmonics. If you struggle with learning to play pinch harmonics the traditional way, like I have, and the traditional way is, as the name suggests, you actually pinch the pick, and the idea is for the string to, immediately after it hits the pick, to hit the meat of your finger. And it should sound something like that. But I can never get it to sound right. And the reason being is because when I'm playing, it's kind of tough for me to, you know, the way that I traditionally hold my pick is like that. And it's real tough for me to readjust and then adjust back. And I've just never been good at doing it. So I had a guitar teacher one time that taught me, rather than trying to play it the traditional way, to take my ring finger and drag it on the string right behind the pick as I'm playing it. Here's an example of a few of these techniques all put together. Number 5, here's a guitar soloing hack that I stumbled across once upon a time. And for this example, we're going to start out, we're going to play it here in the key of E, right on the 12th fret. And what you do is you bar the top 2 strings right there, the E and the B string, and then you can play a riff with several notes with one pick stroke. And I always pick up and what I'm doing is I'm picking up on the high E string, and then I'm hammering down onto the B note on the on the D note rather on the B string, and then pulling off. And in the process of hammering down, again, the fat meaty part of the inside of my finger is muting the high E string right after I hit it. So when you're playing through distortion and learning how to solo and you want to impress your friends, and that's all there is to it. And then you learn to build around it. So there's a few hacks to hopefully help you stay motivated to learn to keep playing, and hopefully help people get over that slump that we all go through from time to time. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please consider hitting the subscribe button. We would love to have you as a subscriber to this channel. You can also hit the bell icon right next to it, and you will receive alerts of when I upload new videos every Wednesday and Saturday morning. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have any specific guitar playing life hacks that could help any of the rest of us. And last but not least, The full signal path will be listed in the credits at the end of this video, and links to all of the gear used in this video will be down yonder in the description area box place thing below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. You know what? There are tons of young people out there that want to get involved in music and do not have the means to do so. If you are watching this video, most likely you're a musician, and many experienced musicians have tons of broken and unwanted gear lying around that they're not doing anything with. Please visit my friends at Share the Music on Facebook at the link below and learn how you and your unwanted gear can help change somebody's life.